And then I won Texas 2K. And then, things kind of started taking off for me. And Mac Bronson, who I think you've interviewed him.
Matt Bronson, yeah, of course.
He was running No Prep Kings, or he was running Street Outlaws Cash Days, I think, in Las Vegas. He invited me out. I go out there, and JJ the boss is running the show and kind of pushing Mac around and talking shit about his piece of shit Nissan and da-da-da-da-da. So we started betting some money, and we started throwing some money in there, and they took us serious, you know what I mean? And Mac made a really good showing. I think he ended up losing that race, but kind of met with the producer, and they seemed to kind of like me, and I didn't hear anything, for like a year. And then last year, or the year before, last year or the year before, they were actually racing in Boise, Idaho, my hometown. And there's a track called Firebird here. The phone rings, and it was them, and they're like, "Hey, Mr. Odom, don't you live in Boise?" I said, "Yeah." They're like, "Hey, we'd love you to bring your car out." And I'm like, "Okay, it happens to be ready," but I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna get killed, right? This is a 7-second quarter-mile prep car running 3-second eighth mile no prep cars." And they said, "Just come out." And so I went out there, and I thought I was king shit, bro. I thought I was I'm on cloud 9, right? That the TV show asked me to come out. I think I'm the coolest cat in the building, and we go out there, and they take me down this room, and they do some green shots with me, and he's like, "I want to introduce you to somebody." So we go down past all the Street Outlaw drivers, and I have my mouse on the ground. I'm looking around like Daddy Dave and Jeff Lutz and Ryan Martin, you know what I mean? And they take me all the way down the end into like the shithole grass area, and he introduces me to Jim Howe. And he said, "Hey, Jim Howe runs for Team Detroit, and Jim this weekend has nobody running with him. You're going to run with him." And of course, Jim's excited. He shakes my hand, and he's like, "Hey, man, nice to meet you." He goes, "What do you got?" I'm like, "Oh, I have a Nissan GTR." And the look on Jim,
like,
he
what?
looked disgusted, dude. And he's like, "How fast is that thing?" I'm like, "Dude, it's a 7-second quarter-mile car." And he just puts his head down.
Oh, shit.
Oh, jeez. At that moment, I knew, right? Well, we raced the weekend together. Of course, I got beat every round, right? But we raced the weekend, and we got to be friends just over that little span of time. And I had a blast, right? Jeff Lutz was one of the coolest guys on the planet. Comes up and asks me if he wants to race with me, right? And so you can imagine me, right? Jeff Lutz. This is the guy that I used to, come home with my son and get Buffalo Wild Wings and watch on TV, right? He's talking to me like, holy shit, right?
He was with you at TX2K22.
Yes, last year when
he was hanging out with you in the pits.
We got to be friends fairly quickly, but he's like, "Hey man, you want a grudge race? I need somebody to race, He beat me by like 10 hours.
Well,
right?
he used you for practice.
Yeah, it wasn't practice. It was a warm body in the other lane. Right? And so we got to be friends. Well, then that Sunday I get a call from Discovery, and they're like, "Hey, we'd like you to finish the year with us." And I'm
wow.
Like, "Oh, okay." So, at the time I talked to my family, and they thought it was a good idea. So we pack up, and my staff drives around, and we do the other like 5 or 6 races of the year. And of course,